Sexual abuse was the driving force behind the German synodal path. A 2018 report revealed that from 1946 to 2014, over 3,600 minors had been abused by clergy. The shocking report shook the foundations of the German church. I was abused in the 1970s, in 76, 77, by two Jesuit priests of that time. The scandal led to nearly 300,000 Catholics leaving the church in 2019, the largest attrition rate ever recorded. It prompted the bishops to examine the causes, assuming responsibility. The revelation of abuse and of structures within the church that enabled abuse has shaken trust so deeply, and the authority of the bishops is so greatly called into question that new paths are necessary in order to confront this crisis of the church. Two questions were proposed in the wake of the report: whether the lack of lay people and women in positions of power helped enable cover-ups, and whether the discipline of celibacy was a factor contributing to clerical abuse. There's that founding myth of the so-called synodal path, identifying what they call the systematic causes of abuse. But what was chosen is, let's say, the entire wish list of the progressive wing in Germany. Many German Catholics share this view. For example, one of the founders of the initiative, Neuer Anfang, which is German for new beginning, was a victim of abuse.
He was very upset because this abuse was shamelessly, the abuse in Germany, to revolt against the teachings of the church and to revolt against Pope Francis. We think about that there is a gender because the ordination of women or the sexual education of really small children finding their own gender, that has nothing to do with our church.
Between 2020 and 2021, the synodal path began discussions on these issues. Two commissions were created, one to debate women's ordination and another to evaluate optional celibacy. From this came two documents, which were then subject to a vote. The result? Approval for continued dialogue. Rome responded. The dicastery for the doctrine of the faith reminded them that Catholic teaching did not permit the ordination of women, and that celibacy, while not doctrinal, is disciplinary and can only be changed by the magisterium. The Holy See has repeatedly reiterated that this project is not acceptable, that it's not in conformity with universal law nor even with the ecclesiology of the Catholic Church. There were also those repeated comments by Pope Francis: there is no need for another Protestant church in Germany.
La Germania ha una grande e bella chiesa evangelica. Io non vorrei un'altra che non sarà tanto buona come quella. La voglio cattolica, alla cattolica, in fratellanza con l'evangelica.
These remarks were made in 2022, only days before the German bishops met with the Pope during their ad limina visit. They also met with Vatican dicasteries. I can honestly and with relief say that it was challenging. Truly, all the topics were brought to the table and in many different settings, whether with the Pope, in the dicasteries, or yesterday's interdicasterial meeting. At that stage, discussions already included making the synodal way permanent and taking decisions through a body in which bishops and lay people would vote on equal terms. But the problem was this: if they made decisions on their own that challenged doctrine, there would be a risk of rupture with Rome. The bishops said they knew the limits of their authority. Matters concerning the magisterium can only be fed into the worldwide synodal process. That's our competence. Beyond that, our competence is limited. In the end, however, the German bishops approved what is called the Synodal Conference, but strong internal friction remains. In any case, it will be the Vatican that decides whether to give it the green light.